Hi guys, good morning. We are headed off to a few estate sales. I'm so excited. It's been a minute since I've gone to any. I think like a month was like the last time I went to one. I definitely need to invest in a larger mirror. But this is kind of what I'm wearing today. Very casual because again, we're gonna be like running around to a bunch of estate sales. I don't wanna like be wearing anything crazy. And these are the shoes that I'm gonna be wearing as well. So here's the full outfit. Let's go. Typically when I go to these, I don't have anything in particular that I'm looking for. I mean, I scout them out just to make sure that there's stuff that like I'm interested in, you know what I mean? Like the vibe, but there's never any like one specific piece typically that I'm looking for. This one, there's a coffee table that I really want. I'm just like crossing my fingers that it's not too expensive. And I can actually get it. Slash that it's even still there because it is a really cool coffee table. It's like a brass bottom with like a glass top, and that is like my dream coffee table. This estate sale was in a condo, which was a first for me. It was also packed, and I try my best not to film random people, so I didn't get the best footage, but walking in, my number one mission was to find the coffee table, and I was super excited that it was still there. However, it was a little more expensive than what I was hoping to spend, which I will explain later, but basically I decided to come back the next day when things would be discounted and just hope that it would still be there. That being said, this mindset totally derailed the rest of the estate sale. We still did a general browse to make sure there wasn't anything that I didn't want to like risk missing out on, which I did grab a couple of things. But watching this footage back, I'm realizing there was so much more that I wish I had have taken more time to go through because it was either not there the next day or I just completely forgot about it, specifically the bigger closet. I meant to go through this better the next day and I didn't even step foot in here. So learn from my mistakes, take the time to browse properly, don't forget about things, or just don't film it so you can remain blissfully unaware. The second estate sale we're going to go through pretty quickly because I'm going to be honest, there really wasn't much here, which I did kind of know going into it because the photos online didn't really look like it had all that much, but it was like the 50% off day and it was kind of on the way to another one. So I figured we'd stop in and check it out. And I am glad that I did because although, like I said, there really wasn't much here, aside from this candy machine, I thought that was pretty cool. And they did have a good amount of like glassware, but like nothing that I was particularly interested in except for one specific item, which I don't want to spoil and you'll see it at the end. And then for our third house, you guys, this is like my dream house. If I could construct any house, I would want it to be this one. And I'm really annoyed that I didn't get better footage of it to like properly show you guys. I did my best, but the person that was like running the estate sale was like following us around. So I felt awkward. So I didn't get very many good ones of downstairs, but upstairs we definitely got better ones. But as far as downstairs, that's kind of where all of the stuff for sale was, like the knickknack kind of things. And they definitely had a lot of cool pieces. I don't know. A lot of it wasn't my style, but then also kind of looking back at this footage, there's a couple of things that I was like, where was my brain? Like, why did I not get that? But it is what it is. Now let's go ahead and actually move upstairs so I can show you a little bit more of this house. So first of all, this place was massive. It had so many rooms. There was only a couple that we could actually go into though. And the rooms were kind of themed. Like this first one was clearly very pink, very girly, even down to the light fixture. Like the house had such cool light fixtures. And then across the hall, we had a blue room. This one was a little less themed, but still cool. And then it had a really long hallway with several more rooms that we unfortunately were not able to go in and look at. And actually looking back at this footage, this would make like the perfect setting for like a haunted house movie. But at the end of this hallway was literally my dream bathroom as well. Like I love the tile, I love the tub, I love everything about it. And I was starting to like go into the bathroom to like show you more, but then my partner let me know that I was not actually supposed to be in there. So I quickly left and that was it for this house. And now last, but certainly not least, we have what I am lovingly calling the 90s time capsule house. I knew going into this one that there wasn't going to be anything that I was probably going to like, but I wanted to go just for the vibes. Like I wanted to see this house in person. It is definitely the girliest house I think I've ever seen. It was full of fake flowers, lots of purple. All the little decor items were on little doilies. Like this is the girliest little setup ever, and I just am obsessed with it. And again, I kind of ran into the problem of there just being like a lot of people in this house, but it had a very similar vibe to the bedroom. Like the bedroom is basically a very good indication of what the rest of the house looked like. It was just really cool to look through. So anyway, that is our last house. Let's go see what we got. Hi guys, it's a couple of days after we went to our estate sales and I have quite the haul for you. And I'm not even going to try to be like mysterious about anything. We got the coffee table. I kind of went into getting that coffee table with like $40 in mind. Like I didn't really want to spend more than that. And my partner said 50. So we were kind of thinking between 40 and 50. And as you guys saw, it was $60. So I did leave that estate sale just kind of like in my head thinking I'll just come back the next day and hopefully it'll be there, and if it's meant to be, it'll be. But by the next day, I was pretty convinced that there was just no way possible that that table was still gonna be there, and it was still freaking there. I still can't believe it. So that's that right off the bat. We got our table. That being said, I also got a ton of other stuff. Like, this was a very fruitful little few estate sales that we went to. And a couple of the other kind of like bigger ticket items that I got at that first estate sale were a couple of jackets. First of all, we have this Kelly green mohair like trench coat. Is this not the coolest freaking jacket you have ever seen? This type of fabric does not look very soft when you just look at it. It looks like it's gonna be a very scratchy coat, but it's not. Like, it's so soft. I also just love like the structure and the design of like the different lines and stuff in the collars, and then also in the pocket. How cute is that? Like, I'm obsessed with this. And also I ended up running into an older lady. We were both like digging through the closet and like trying on jackets and stuff and like sharing a mirror in the room. And I was trying on this jacket in particular, and she was saying that she used to own a shop where they sold mohair jackets, and basically told me that you need to keep these shaved. I did not know that, so I'm really glad that I just so happened to be in that room at the same time as this lady. Here's what she looks like on, kind of. I don't know how well you can see. I am extremely far away from the camera, but here's kind of like what it looks like. I also got another jacket from the same estate sale, and this one is also really cool. That being said, I might end up selling this one just because I do feel like it looks a little too bulky on me. I am very short and I just feel like sometimes these kinds of like trench coats can just swallow me. With that being said, again, the style of this and just the overall look is so freaking cool. I couldn't pass this one up either. This one has kind of like a striped rib almost on it, and it is kind of like a very low, almost faux fur kind of material, and then it does actually have some faux fur on the collar and then on the sleeves. And I've actually been looking for a jacket kind of like this. This one definitely has more of a preppy vibe than what I've actually been looking for. Here's kind of like an inspo pic of a jacket that I would absolutely love to find. Here's what this one looks like on. This one I definitely feel like looks a little big on me, like I said. Specifically, I feel like the collar is looking a little, if I was to kind of like bend this and not actually like button it. Jackets in general, especially long ones like this, I typically do not actually button it in any sort of way because again, it swallows me if I do that. And I definitely think it does look a little bit cuter actually if you just kind of don't close it. And like the leaves length is like perfect. It like hits right at the top of my wrists. I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of like let winter hit a little bit, see if I actually wear it, and if I don't, then I'll put it up on Depop or like my shop. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna deviate from Depop because several different reasons actually that I just don't want to explain in this video, but I might be getting my own website soon and selling more things like home decor and stuff as well, which there'll be a couple of pieces that might be going up in a shop if you're interested, so stay tuned. I'm pretty sure the only other like fashion item that I have is this purse. I'm very much someone that prefers a crossbody bag because I do not want to fiddle with my purse ever. I feel like I'm a very like particular person, but I also feel like I'm a very low maintenance person. Like I don't want to mess around with things, you know? That being said, this is just so dang cute. And I was actually randomly very inspired by Project Runway. I don't know if anyone out there is watching the new season right now, but I am. And the most recent episode was like a Western episode, which had some of my favorite outfits. It actually really opened my eyes to the fact that I think I love a Western aesthetic. One of the outfits in particular had like a bandeau top that was basically just like a giant leather belt buckle, and I just thought it looked so cool. So when I saw this, basically a giant leather belt buckle, I couldn't pass up on it. Also just too, like the design of it in general, love. And this does actually have a lot of storage on the inside, which I'm not used to being someone that usually has a crossbody bag. I usually have like just enough for like my wallet and my phone. I don't honestly know how often I'm gonna use this, but I'm also, like I mentioned in kind of like my last video, I really wanna bulk up my wardrobe. I started off this channel with a closet clean out. I basically got rid of a good chunk of my clothing, and I wanna kind of slowly build up a new wardrobe that has a lot of like funky cool pieces. So I think this will fit in perfectly. Everything else in this haul is going to be home decor items. And the first couple of home decor items that I got are these two paintings, pieces of artwork. I don't actually know what these are made out of, but these are the coolest freaking thing ever, and they were $1 a piece. Let me see if I can show this to you. There you go. They're basically both just pictures of ships, which I don't particularly care about necessarily, but they're metallic, and I thought That was so freaking cool. So here's the first one. And then the other one is very, very similar, but I think they just have like slightly different colors that they used. How fun are these? I'm obsessed. So have no clue where these are gonna go, but I'm excited about them. And then I have a Godiva bag full of some more items. First of which are a bunch of antique Christmas ornaments. Typically the Christmas stuff I totally ignore when I go to estate sales because I don't really need Christmas things, but I think this time around, because we are actually reaching the holiday season, I was a little bit more inclined to take a peek, and I'm so glad that I did because I found a ton of these really, really cute like fruit ornaments. What I liked specifically about them is the fact that they are made of like this really, really soft silky thread. They have little like velvet leaves. The fact that they were fruit, I just thought was really, really cute, and it's very random. Originally these were like $2 a piece, which is kind of crazy. So I was only gonna get a few, but then my partner was like, just get all the ones you want, who cares? So that's what I did. And I'm really glad that I did end up doing that because when we actually checked out, she only charged me $1 for each of them. So again, this first one is kind of like a chartreuse pear. And then I also got what I think is another pear, but in a green color. Like, look how shiny that thread is. It's so cool. And then I got this apple, which on first look just looks like a green apple, but it even has like a reddish area on it. You know how like sometimes apples have like different colors on them? This blew my mind. I just think that's so cool. So it's mostly green. And yeah, and then you have this little like red patch. How fun is that? I'm obsessed with these. And then I also got 3 of these little like smaller apples, I think they are. And they're all kind of this really pretty like orangey red kind of color. And the leaves are the same kind of like velvet, but it has like green and red on them. And then the last 2, I don't know what these are supposed to be, but this one we kind of joked looked like a white eggplant. So there is that one. And then this one to me just looks like onion with leaves. I don't think that's what these are supposed to be, but here's a little eggplant and here's a little onion. And then last but certainly not least, for our first estate sale, I got a couple of these like candlestick holders. They're this really pretty like soft pink color, and they're basically in the shape of a flower. And as much as I love these, kind of circling back to what I said earlier, I might be putting these in my shop. Very sadly, I am running out of room to put all the fun things that I find, so I thought it'd be fun to start selling some of it. If you like these, they might be available in a shop very soon. And speaking of the shop, another thing that I purchased for myself, but now I'm thinking maybe, very much like the cream coat, I am still very 50-50 on this, but I might end up putting this for sale as well. You guys, I found another fairy lamp. I don't know if I actually showed you my first one, but it's right there. I've been seeing them all over TikTok, and I didn't realize what they were until I saw them on TikTok, and I've been on the hunt for one ever since. And I found that one a week or so ago. And at this estate sale, I ended up finding another one. This one is much smaller, but it's also kind of like a pedestal one. And is this not just the cutest freaking thing? If you've never seen one of these, essentially they are 2 pieces. You have your base, which you put a candle inside of, and then you have the top part that has this hole at the top to let like airflow in and out. And it just looks really, really pretty, specifically at night. I'll put a candle in this one tonight so we can both see what it looks like, because I haven't even done that yet for this one. And then the only other thing that I got at that same second estate sale where I got the fairy lamp was this candle. This was a whopping 50 cents. I like the color of this, I like the shape of it, but kind of like a little bonus was this little like tassel on it as well. I thought that was really cute. I have a very neutral bedroom, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to be able to switch out like accents and things like that every season. And I am so ready to switch everything up to fall. And this is gonna be kind of like our first little fall accent for this bedroom. And now we are down to our very last item. I went to a couple different estate sales that I didn't really find anything in, and this one in particular, this is literally the only thing that I found. And it was during a 50% off day, so I got it for $2.50, which is a crazy steal because it's basically another fairy lamp, but it's in the shape of a freaking turtle. Here's what the little base looks like. You have the full turtle, its little leggies, its head, a little tail even, and then you have a candle that you stick in there. And then the top part with the hole is basically its shell. This is literally the most adorable thing on the planet. I am a big lover of animals, I always have been. And whenever I find like an antique item that is in the shape of an animal, it's very hard for me to pass up on. And I don't actually have anything that's a turtle. So I'm obsessed with this. I think it's super, super cute. And with that, that is everything that I got. I hope you guys have had the most amazing day, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye guys.